Hey guys, Chris Tripp here, fresh out the shower, fresh into Europe, Barcelona, Spain. Take a peek out the window. This is the streets of Barcelona in the Gothic Quarter. Beautiful, clean the streets every night. It's just unreal. I mean, I'm so stoked to dig into this city. Kind of reminds me of like New York, that you could endlessly, or you could go and try to eat at every place and see everything for a year and not even come close. But it's also historic in this Gothic Quarter. Excuse the motorcycles. They'll be coming through. My brain's half running at half capacity. I just haven't been able to get on my sleep schedule. It's basically flipped, and it's been 4 days. And I mean, at nighttime when I go to, at nighttime I'm wide awake, and then in the morning, I mean, I've been laying up all night, and then the morning comes, and I'm actually tired, and it's just getting cracking here. So I'm just going to stay up all day. Didn't sleep last night, and hopefully get on schedule tomorrow. There's some sweet stuff going on tomorrow, being Friday here. Gosh, I mean, there's a lot to talk about. I just jotted a few things down, and let me walk around the house and show you what we got going on. It just started to rain, so I was going to catch up and get some work done. Work, email, various things. You see that? It's the fattest cat I've ever seen. Okay. Obviously. Beautiful. Okay. So that's a little taste. Just want to thank a few people. Gavin at Physical Culture Collective, Bushwick, Brooklyn, NYC, getting me this sweet tank out before I took off. Alexis, our clients, I was trying to make my trip on the plane and travels as smooth as can be, so highly recommend a fog pen. I'll show you here. Boom. Made the trip much more pleasant. But thank Alexis for that discount. And my man Blake for sending me off with some product, so I don't have to worry about that before I left. So, I'm here. Obviously, I'm here. I'm in Europe, and as my friends know, I've been in Costa Rica the last 5 years, and going back to I read it in 2006, the 4-Hour Work Week. And just to explain to you, the 4-Hour Work Week is the title was chosen. It's a book by Tim Ferriss. Title was chosen because he had a few titles to go with, or he was tossing around, and he did an AdWords campaign and maybe something with social media, and he was just seeing that title was getting more of a draw, so he went with it. And it's not about we're going to work 4 hours. No, it's about being more efficient with your time, because a lot of that 40 hours that a lot of people work is not totally productive. They're dicking around, and that could be shaved down and consolidated. Definitely less than 40 hours. So that's what it's about. It's about it reminds me of the older book, The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, and just creating systems around everything, or a franchise concept. in a business, that isn't a franchise, because it's systematic and you can always refer to a manual for procedures. And so there's never a question of like what to do, because there's a system for it. The same as you see like at Mickey D's and all these franchises, everything works the same. So you employ systems within your business for efficiency and to free you up for the better things in life. But it's, it was like a new age e-myth in the 4-hour work week, which I really liked. Because they touched on, the mobility and the business of e-commerce and the internet, which really struck a chord with me. That book's changed many people's lives. But, after I read it, it was really a slap in the face. I'd had my business going for a couple years, and, none of my clients, or most of them, were not even, I never see face-to-face. Even in 10 years in, rarely do I meet with clients face-to-face. And so, I read that book, and I right then and there created a few little ideas and businesses. But I decided, in the book he mentions Buenos Aires. I was like, shit, I want to go to Buenos Aires. And, around the same time I got a call to go back to work with the Department of Defense overseas, work on a project. And I said, yeah, it sounds good. It's a perfect jump off point. I'll work on this project, and that's when I'll make the move. And, as time went on, a year and a half passed. And, Buenos Aires didn't have a beach, so that wasn't an option for me for long term. And ended up in Costa Rica just because of a friend that I worked with who were on the same level in that regard. We'd always talk about things, and he had some property in Costa Rica. I was helping them out. Long story short, moved out there. I was out there for 5 years. So fast forward to now, I've learned a lot. I've grown the business. I really used that time in Costa Rica, that solitude, to like know myself. It's just like version 2.0. And I think that would benefit everyone if they could have that opportunity to take a year away from everything, that we're used to in this fast-moving society, and just unplug and get back to the basics and really, go inside. And best move ever made. So, I went back to the States and was thinking about maybe working for someone or startup, but went out to LA, and it's just something about that. There's that freedom, and that you just can't put a price on it to dictate your ceiling, because you determine your own future as an entrepreneur. A lot of people don't understand it. Been in relationships where I'd have to work these odd hours, and I wasn't exactly trading hours for dollars, and it was hard, for a lot of people to understand. But you're really putting in a lot of time that's going to reap its reward in the future. And now that's all happening, and I'm glad I did that. I knew it was the right thing to do. And here we are. So, after being in the States for a period of time, which I hadn't done in nearly 8 years, spent a good bit of time in the States. Did that back home, near family. That was cool. Summertime on the water. I had a blast. I was keeping active and getting things done. But I realized that not a lot of people have that opportunity to go where they want, when they want. Come on. And I had to realize that. I was starting to kind of conform and be comfortable, because it is. Things are very convenient in the United States. And for me, I had to keep it moving. You spend a period of time, you're back there, and you're just like, oh, I gotta go. It's an itch. You get those heebie-jeebies. It's like, God, I gotta go. There's so much to see. I just couldn't imagine staying in one place. And that's just me. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that's just me. And, gosh, what was it? Oh, and I don't know if Corey is catching this, Corey Coates, but he has over at Podfly. he was in Costa Rica. I never even got to meet him. We went back and forth with some things, but never got to meet him. It's a shame. But I was all about podcasts. Always, just pretty much the only things I take in. And this guy was like the master, and he sets podcasts up for businesses full circle. And he was living around the way for me the whole time. So we did connect, and over social media. So I see his post. And he has this like digital nomad. I think he was hashtagging it. And I caught something he had put up, like an article. And then I went to that article. Then I'd taken from, I'm going to look right here real quick at the full name. Marcus. Forgive me if I'm saying this wrong. Marcus Maurer. And, I had been in Costa Rica before, just wanting to have someone with, people that have this like-mindedness. And it was great. I mean, it was on the beach. I just couldn't do that forever. I couldn't just chill out on the beach forever. I mean, I started that when I was 28 there. And you start to feel retired in a sense. And there's just so much more to do. So, in that time, I'd always thought, gosh, I wish there was just movement out there. There's got to be more folks. And sure enough, that was happening the whole time. And then, Corey had posted an article, which was written on Medium by Marcus. And then I caught Tropical MBA podcast, Digital Nomad. He started the Digital Nomad conference. And I mean, it's booming. So it's like a collective anywhere you go around the world. There's hubs, entrepreneur houses, the mastermind. It's just awesome. And that I was sitting there in Charleston, South Carolina, late at night, coming across this, and it's just like a portal opened up, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I mean, this is what I've been looking for, because I was doing it within myself without taking it in any influence with others. I was solo. So now there's a whole subculture out there of people with their own businesses, successful businesses, and a lot of them been doing it a while. So it's good. And they're one of the houses is just around the corner. I'm about to hook up with these guys tomorrow, which I'm stoked on. And not only that, but through the group. I mean, this is all within a short period of time. But through the group, it's a closed group on Facebook. I mean, this communication is unreal, how we can all connect now. But, I got into the group here, the DC Barcelona group, and I just never really worry if I'm going anywhere about where I'm staying or anything like that, or even knowing anyone. I would love to be dropped just in a foreign land that I don't know anyone, because it's just fun. Because when you do meet people, and those places that you're in, where you don't know anything, and as comfortable as it feels right away, because you're just used to those creature comforts and just having it made. But when you are like so uncomfortable in those situations, over time, spending time immersing yourself there, not 1 week, not 2 weeks, not 3 weeks, a month or more, and then all those things unlock themselves, and you develop your own patterns. The world's so uncomfortable before and out of your comfort zone, and then you start to form a routine in a foreign land, and it feels like home. It's a great, it's a really, really good feeling. And not knowing anyone, then you're meeting people, and then you just know a bunch of people. It's just so cool, and you build your network around the world. So not just in your hometown, you got people everywhere, all around the world, and it's just very cool. So I was looking, I was going to grab something regardless. Craigslist, Airbnb, get a flat, get a rental. And I was thinking about, I'd mentioned this before, I was thinking about getting an Airbnb or renting a place, a 2-bedroom by myself, and then renting the other out on Airbnb, and essentially living for free, which is something I did in Costa Rica, just fucking around, which that evolved into a business in itself in Costa Rica, which I manage when I'm on the go. But anyway, I put something up on the group about the time frame that I was coming here and planning to initially, September to December, and just didn't sweat it really. Because at that time, someone replied. Actually, just had a few weeks, and someone replied. Well, let me back it up. I was looking at tickets. I was like, I need a book, and I just wanted to book it just to know that was done. So I went to Fairboom. I'd use all these aggregators like Kayak, but I'm really liking Fairboom.com, FAREBOOM.com. I'd set an alert. Most prices were coming around like $1,300, $1,500 round trip Barcelona. Boom, caught one at one day at $800. Just snagged it up. Come on, round trip. So grabbed that. Feeling good. Wasn't really stressing because it was just too easy to find a place to live. And sure enough, I'd posted in the group. Someone had replied back, and it turns out that she was moving here at the same time. Another, Alexis, I looked up on you since then. Has her own media company since she was 23. I started mine when I was 24. I think she's a year younger, so doing about the same time. But she's in another aspect of it, and she's killing it from what I saw. So she's a go-getter coming out of LA, and we're going to be rooming up here in Barcelona, a sweet place next to the DC, the Entrepreneur House, just 150 meters around the corner. So just to be around like-minded folks, it's just this synergy. I'm so excited for, and just to finally, be around folks in that same realm as me. And they'll be here next week. So I just grabbed an Airbnb. Until then, which I ran into another cool person there. The girl that lives here is in another beach at the moment. So I got the place to myself, just mellow, cool people through and through. Even though I know some Spanish, obviously, I'm not going to apply it here, but seems like for the most part everyone speaks English, just like a melting pot. I can just listen outside and hear English and multiple languages being spoken. So very cool. So I wrote some things down here. Another big one, because I tried. When I was like riding my bike, had a GoPro, and I'll stand up paddleboarding. In South Carolina, I had started to vlog, but the mic wasn't picking it up. But I was really talking about, I guess what I want to say is the main point that I'd want to drive home in this vlog is the ability, the remote capability, and that to the younger kids coming up, because I'm not discouraging it or saying not to, but college, because of the exchange of information, I'm not talking about being a doctor or a lawyer, or a specialized field, but college is just becoming more irrelevant. I don't know, you think about all the debt, and it's just now that information is so available. So things are changing. Things are changing big time. And I want to advocate, picking up a trade that can give these kids, they might have that entrepreneurial spirit, but they also just might like to code, design, there's so many fields that you can go into where you can have that remote capability. And beyond that, now there's so many resources to where you can find remote jobs, like remoteok.io instead of .com, remoteok.io, which is only remote jobs. And then on the other sites, dice.com, you can filter down to remote jobs and just work it, But even if you're not remote out of the gate, you have a trade and you can teach yourself. Code Academy, Treehouse, it's endless. Lynda.com, Lynda.com. You can teach yourself, and the proof's in the pudding in this field. If you know how to do it and you have work that shows, then that speaks for itself. So, I'm an advocate for that. And I was kind of bummed. There's an incubator that started up in my hometown, and I saw that last year as I got to sit in on some of the business pitches. It was a rehearsal the night before. I didn't even know that it existed. And I was just in town for a little while, and I got to sit in on it. And so when I was there, I kept up with them, startup.sc, and where they're going and what they're doing, and incubator projects getting funded, people coming with these ideas and they're just getting them off the ground, and it's just so cool. And I was going to go there with one of their advisors, a friend of mine, Ed, but I couldn't make it. And but yeah, I really want to when I'm there, because I wanted to at least speak with because I know they're teaching some coding there, and but it's also an incubator, and I just wanted to be an advocate, especially from my hometown, about that remote capability. Because startup, awesome, having your own business, awesome, but I just want the kids going to college or coming out of college to know that you don't have to wait for that. You don't have to wait, have a business and an exit strategy and so forth to have that. You can have it right out of the gate if you have that remote capability. So let's say you have a job, you get a job that's all, it's remote. Well, you at that point are free. I mean, you have to do that work, but you're free to be where you want, and it's cool. And I just, really wanted to speak to that. And if anyone out there has any children or would love to speak with me in that regard or advice, people do reach out to me quite frequently. Friends that want to, maybe are in a field or a business and they just want to make a change. It happens all the time. And I would love to talk with anyone, or just from my experience, point anyone in the right direction. It's raining now. Perfect day to catch up on things. But tomorrow, and I'm just really looking forward to getting my bearings, getting on the sleep schedule here, meeting up with new folks, hitting the beaches on the Mediterranean here, which is just almost a stone's throw away. Unreal, just excited. Just been excited and stoked on life in general for the longest time, and looking forward to the adventures to come. And like I said, if anyone has any questions in regard to anything that I spoke on, just hit me up, and we're more than willing and happy to discuss it with you. Hope you guys had an awesome week and are ready for an awesome weekend. All right, guys. Until next time.